What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm Q Jackson, lifestyle editor of The Quintessential Gentleman. Of course, you guys are tuned in, and we greatly appreciate that. In just a few seconds, we'll be interviewing Tahj Mowry. If you guys are familiar with him, he's been in the industry for like 3 decades. Tahj is currently working on, well, actually about to release his new movie, Welcome Mat. That'll be available Friday, but of course, pre-orders will be available now. So yes, in just a few minutes, we'll be chatting with Tahj. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop those in the comments. And yeah, we're looking forward to an amazing conversation. Hope you guys are just as excited as I am. Tahj, where you at? Hope everyone's day has been amazing. Mine has been getting ready for this interview. And to those of you who are not yet subscribed to The Quintessential Gentleman, after this interview, feel free to click the link in our bio. Go to the website, scroll down to the bottom, and subscribe to the page so that you can get all of our updated newsletters. We have amazing giveaways that we, offer every week. Father's Day is coming up, so if you haven't gotten your father anything yet, we have some amazing things that are going to be a part of the upcoming giveaways. You might even be able to get this. It's Eartha Watches. It's a black-owned watch company. Where is that guy? He's located in Los Angeles, Mr. Amir Horton. So shout out to him for this amazing watch. Yes. So let's see who we got in the building. Little bit of everybody. Hey y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look, before Tahj shows up, if you guys can share. Oh, guess he. All right. Superstars coming in. What is going on, sir?
What's going on with you?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. Feeling blessed to be alive.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Thank you for joining us, man. We are really excited to have this conversation with you today, and congratulations in advance on Welcome Mat.
Thank you,
Welcome
man.
Mat.
Yes, thank you. It's crazy that it's actually here. It's wild that it comes out on Friday. I'm so excited for people to experience it.
So, how long has the whole Welcome Mat process been in the works?
It's been we filmed this movie about 3 years ago. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was before COVID, before anybody knew what COVID was. Um, and it's just crazy that the timing worked out. I believe that's why it took this long for it to come out, because it was meant to come out now.
Yes.
And the fact that it's coming out at the peak of Mental Health Awareness Month, which is like, that wasn't even planned. You know what I mean? So it's that God timing, So it's
Absolutely.
I'm very excited that it's finally here and that people get to experience, who Matt really is, and how he deals with life.
You know what? I got the opportunity to witness who Matt really was earlier today. When I tell you all the emotions that I felt, I'm texting my friends like, oh my God, when am I going to find out what happened? And when I found out, I was just like, wow.
Yes.
But
Thank
it's
you, man.
it's a good movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations in advance on that. We'll
Thank you.
definitely get into the movie momentarily, but
Okay.
let's get into this amazing 3 decade career of yours. Wow. And happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
No problem. No
Thank
problem.
you.
So yes, man, you've been in the industry at this point for almost 30 years, if not a
Yeah,
little bit over 30
that's
years.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yes, man.
If anybody
So,
didn't know how old I was, they know now.
oops.
No, it's online. Everybody, yeah, it
But
ain't a secret.
But look though, how does it feel to have an amazing career? Like you've done some amazing work that people are still looking forward to.
Thank you.
Um, Everything that you release, people are still loving and following and talking about.
Wow.
How does that feel?
You know what? There's it's even crazier when people say it like how you just said it and I hear it. It's wild because I can't I the only thing I can say is that it's I'm grateful. I'm thankful for the talent that God blessed me with, the opportunities that He's blessed me with, the fact that I have fans that have they about family now. They're not even
Yeah.
fans no more, but that sort of watched me grow and have grown with me and have followed me this long. It's and to know that what I do, whether it's comedy or something like Welcome Matt, that it is affecting people in a deep way, and that's why I do what I do, and it's just it's a great feeling. That's like it's hard to put into words, but I'm grateful, thankful. Oh my gosh, I'm just it's really it's amazing to know that how that you can affect people in the way that I can. It's not just a job for me.
Right. Now, do you and your sisters sit around and have the conversations about you guys affecting change or inspiring generations of people? Like what kind of what are those conversations like?
We don't, I wouldn't say we like sit around and talk about it, but like if someone like, for example, my sister Tia and I were at lunch the other day and a biracial woman came up to the table and was just tripping out that she was talking to Tia. And that I feel like the conversations spark when they're triggered like that.
Hmm.
So then we got into a conversation of just how blessed we are to be able to affect people in that way and to be the faces of the African American community, the biracial community, to for them to see us in roles that aren't really there or around a lot. You know what I mean? And that's for me, that's the beauty of Welcome Matt, because
Hmm.
it's seeing someone struggling with mental health and anxiety and depression um, in a way that we haven't seen before. And yeah, so every now and again, those conversations will come about, but it's not like we're just sitting around like, wow, we really do affect people, like it's not like, but when we realize it, it's just like, man, like, wow, like we really out here, like doing this, so
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
that's good. So look, you've mentioned it a couple times. I mentioned it in the beginning. Let's go ahead and get into it. So welcome, Matt. How did that role come about for you?
Well, I had been looking for a while for a script that sort of encompassed all the emotions that Welcome Matt has.
Hmm.
It's a roller coaster of emotions in this film, and my career has been mostly comedy stuff, like strictly make you laugh. That's it. But I came to a point where I was like, I want to showcase the other side of me because I love drama. I love independent films. I love um, some of my favorite comedians are the ones that can seamlessly shift over from comedy to drama. The Will Smiths, the Jim Carreys, the Robin Williams. All right,
Hmm.
rest in peace. But you know, some of my favorite movies of theirs were their dramatic roles. So I want to become that type of actor as well, where people can not only appreciate and watch the comedic stuff, but the dramatic stuff as well. So when I read the script and my team sent it over, I was like, "Yo, like this is the one I've been looking for all these years. Like I need to do this." So immediately met with the director and I brought like notes with me. I was like, look, Leon, this is what I want to bring to it. This is what I feel I need to do. And he was like, let's go. And I'm just so thankful that the script came about because again, it gave me a chance to be comical, to be dramatic, to there's a little bit of love in there. It's got so many different elements that you love in film, but in one film, and it's done sort of seamlessly. It's got a
Mhm.
great balance of comedy and drama, and that's what appealed to me the most. And it made me laugh while I was reading it, and
Yeah.
that's always a plus. So, but I knew it was going to be a challenge, and that's the other reason why I wanted to do it as well. I wanted to sort of challenge myself and stretch my acting muscles in a way that I haven't done before.
Truth be told, like watching this movie, you absolutely did take it to levels I've never seen. I mean, for little TJ Henderson to,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not little smart guy anymore. I'm like, okay,
Thank you,
he is
man.
grown. He has really
Thank you,
grown up.
man.
So
Thank you. Thank
shout
you.
out to you for that.
Thank
So
you.
in preparation for this role, like was there
Yeah.
anything important that you had to do? Because this is a complex character. So
Yes.
are there any things that you had to do to like prepare for it?
Oh, yes. This is definitely not something. I mean, as an actor, you want to do that anyway with any role, but for this one specifically, I had to do the necessary steps to not take something like this lightly because depression is real, anxiety is real, mental health is real, and it's a real issue. And the last thing I wanted was for people to see this movie and be like, "Oh man, he ain't never had no panic attack. He don't know what that looks like. That ain't what it looked like, man. Like, what is he doing?" That's the last thing I wanted. So there were a couple films that I sort of drew inspiration from. The main one was a film called Copycat, and that's starring Sigourney Weaver and Harry Connick
Mhm.
Jr. And she plays an agoraphobic, and that's what Matt suffers from in the film. So that's been one of my favorite films. Like, since I was a kid, I'm a sucker for like '90s thrillers.
Mhm.
So that was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, okay, I need to rewatch Copycat. I need to study, how her panic attacks are triggered, how they last, how everything about it. And I think a good part of the preparation, which I didn't know was preparation before, was the fact that before I even saw the script, I myself had bouts of panic attacks. I had suffered those before. So I knew what they felt like. I
Mhm.
knew what they could do to your breathing. I knew that, at the height of a panic attack, the only thing you can do is pass out afterwards. You know what I mean? Because you've wasted all your energy on the panic. So now looking back, I'm thankful that I had those because it gave me um, the I gained a respect for what I was portraying because A, I knew it was real. B, I had experienced it before, and I knew how to sort of emote those feelings and emotions. And then the only thing I had to do was sort of you know be comfortable with going back to those emotions in front of a crew, you know what I mean? In front of a
Mhm.
camera. But it was definitely an intense shooting time. I went home every day tired as hell, just because he goes through so many emotions in this film. And as you've seen the film, it's mostly just Matt, and
Yeah.
and and people sort of come in and out
Mhm.
to give him to give that comedy when necessary, but we're pretty much following him the whole time. So I knew I had to carry the movie in a way that I never had to before. Um, but with that said, with all the emotions and the intensity, it was also therapeutic to play a character like that. And I'm just so honored and privileged to like be the face of that now. Because there's been movies that touch on mental health, of course, but definitely not in the African American
Yeah.
community. And it's such a taboo topic overall, but even more so with men and with men of color.
Yeah.
So uh, this allows people to see, you know, Matt, someone that looks like them, going through something that they also may, and the outpouring of messages and interviews that I've done so far, of people, telling me how it affected them, gave them courage to go to therapy now. Like that's all I ever wanted from this film, and it's already happening, and the movie's not even out yet. So it's really like humbling, and it just lets me know that the work I put into it before, it was worth it.
Oh, it absolutely is. And speaking of, what your goal was, I did get a chance to see that. Normally when the credits come on, I like to turn the movie off. I'm done with it. But I'm glad that I continued to watch it at that point because I had the opportunity to see you speak with, I think was it Bentley Kyle Evans? I think it was that you kind
Yes,
of
it
had
was.
the conversation with. So,
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
I mission accomplished. Long story short,
Yes.
mission accomplished for real.
Amazing,
So,
amazing.
so in addition to experiencing the panic attacks, are there any other ways that you relate to the character?
Without giving too much away, he deals with a very traumatic experience, slash, with his depression, it's a little bit of grief in there as well. And I've dealt with loss in my own life, with family, with friends, and so yes, I could relate to him in that way as with the panic attacks. Thankfully, not to the degree that he experiences it, because it
Hmm.
is very intense.
Yeah.
And I think it makes me happy that you were waiting to see what caused it, because I feel like the lead up is worth it when you find out exactly, what it is. Um, but yeah, you're kind of going on this journey with him throughout the film. Like, man, like how did he get this way? Like, and it just lets you know that you never know what someone is truly going through unless you have a
Hmm.
conversation with them, which is why you can never diminish what someone's feeling. And you can never say, "Oh man, you'll be good." Like, why you tripping? Like, man, don't stress about that. Like, you don't know what they're dealing with. So,
Yeah.
I think this film, amongst many other things, uh, teaches the person who may not know how to talk to someone who's dealing with depression to just hear them out, listen, be that lending ear for the person, because they might not have anybody else to talk to about it. And the people they're talking to about it may not care or understand. So
Hmm.
I think we have to come to a level of understanding that A, everybody's different, and B, everyone, trauma and loss can affect people differently.
Hmm.
And their feelings and emotions are always valid, because you don't know how strong that person is. You don't know exactly what happened. So you can never brush someone off with that.
Okay. So shout out to all of the amazing actors that were in the film. Jasmine Lewis, I was like, wow, I haven't seen her in quite some time. And she's
She's
playing
also a
mom.
producer. She's the
I
producer on the film
I
as
did
well.
catch that part
Yeah.
too. Dorian Wilson, aka Professor Ogilvy.
Yes,
If you
sir.
guys remember him. Dion Cole. I'm like, okay, this has some power players in
Yes.
this movie. So how did it feel working with them? And had you worked with any of these people before?
I obviously knew a good number of them, but I had never got the chance to work with any of them. And you know, when Dion signed on to do the film, I was so hyped, because like that character needed Dion. Like it had to be Dion. Like it just had to
Yeah.
be Dion. And what he brings to the table is just he's incredible. And a lot of the stuff you see between us, um, a lot of it wasn't even on the page at times. The endings of the scenes were kind of
Mm.
us just going, and the director not saying cut yet. But I never really knew what he was gonna say. So it was like it made it more fun. And with comedy, that's what you want. Like I enjoy the ad-libbing aspect of comedy and not knowing what's gonna happen next. But you know, growing up watching Jasmine in Barbershop, like, and then being in a movie with her, and the people that you may not have seen before, Gigi Townsend, Adrian Ray, like they're so talented, and it was a pleasure to work with them, and and be a part of a cast that sort of knew the complexity of the script and knew what we
Mhm.
were trying to do, and they came and brought their A game. You know what I mean? So I appreciated that on set. But yeah, it was truly an honor to work with everybody in that way.
That's good. And everybody, I mean, they played the hell out of their roles. Now I'm gonna tell you, there was one character that she just kept pissing me off. I'm like, oh my God.
I think I know who you're talking about, man.
And without and guys, you have to see the movie, and you may
Yeah.
or may not feel the same way. But all I'm gonna ask, and that's gonna be it on that subject, is why did you not take the key back? How does she keep popping up? I'm like,
You
what's
know what?
going on, man?
I think that's part of the reason. I think that's the amazing double entendre in the title of the film. Welcome, Matt.
Hmm.
It is also the welcome Matt at your door that you walk over all the time. So there's an aspect
Yeah.
of Matt that is just continuously being walked over, and mostly from that
Mm.
character that you're talking about. So he has to gain courage in more than one area in the film, and with
Hmm.
that character is probably his first step in realizing, like, hold up, like I gotta step up and, like, change things for myself and stand up for myself and stop being walked all over by this person. So the
Yeah.
fact that you felt that way about her makes me know that she did what she was supposed to do.
She was the
And
right
I
choice.
was actually talking to her. Because we're all still friends, the cast, and I was talking to her just the other day, and I was telling her how amazing she was in the film. So I'm glad
Hmm.
that you were affected by by what she brought.
Tell her I said good job.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, she did a good job.
I
When
will.
a
I'll tell her.
character when a character can make you feel any sort of emotion at all, whether it's
Mm,
the anger, the happiness, the sadness, truth be told, they are that's the right person for the role. So were
yeah.
you in charge of casting, or were you like a part of the casting process?
I was involved, but obviously the director, will always have the final say. But I
Mhm.
appreciate Leon so much because he always kept me in the loop.
Okay.
I was able to see audition tapes, and give my thoughts to who I thought was good for some of the characters. But I trusted him. When you take on a movie like this, especially with the first time director, you got to have trust. And we had met multiple times before we started shooting the film, and we gained a relationship and a rapport with each other and a trust on both sides. He had to trust me with his
Hmm.
baby. I had to trust him with trusting him that this movie would come out as well as it did. And and I knew I could, and it's just great to see the final product. But yeah, he kept me, and even in the post production, when before the movie was sold, and the release dates and all the business side, he kept me involved in all that. So it's kind of my baby as well. So it's really cool to see it finally here that people can watch it.
Yes. So let's talk about working with Leon, because he's relatively new in the industry. And
Yes.
you're a seasoned vet at this point. Were there any things that you learned from him? Were there any things that you were able to teach him? Like, how did that whole process and relationship go?
Well, I can't speak for him on what he possibly learned from me or not, but I learn from every set I'm on, and I have respect for everyone who's doing their job. So I learn from the entire crew at the same
Hmm.
time. I learn about lighting on each film I do or each television show I do. I learn about timing, I learn about directing, I learn about props, I learn about all these things because I just like paying attention to them, like, when we're on break, so I'd say, this being his first film, I think if I was to guess, I would say he learned, like, just how to work with actors in a way,
Hmm.
in a space like this. And he was so amazing. And and you know, you work with different types of directors, and he's definitely an actor's director, and that's why I love him so much. And he trusts the actor, and he trusted me with what I wanted to bring. If I
Mm-hmm.
felt like you know, a scene was maybe too long, or it should maybe be cut a little bit, like he heard me, you know, and he respected why I thought that. And I think um, when you're directing someone, you have to have some sort of level of trust in what they're trying to do with the character. And he was always, you know, he was always so amazing. One thing he didn't let me do was watch the dailies. He did not let me watch those, and that's a lot of directors don't. But I respected him for that, you know. And he was adamant, you know, after the film was done, after all the, you know, during all the post stuff. I was like, Leon, can I see some of it? Like, what are you doing? Can
Mm-hmm.
we show me just like half of it? He's like, Taj, no, the music's not in it. It's not fully like,
Mm-hmm.
he was adamant. He knew he wanted me to see the finished product. So I respect him so much for that. But yeah, I think we on any set, I think anybody can learn from anybody if you're willing to, you know? And I think that just comes with respect. And I respected everybody on that set, and I respect everybody that I work with all the time, because if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
that respect, it's not going to be a pleasant environment.
Okay. So when did you guys get the chance to actually see the final product?
Well, he's seen it probably 1,000 times, because you know he's in the
Mm-hmm.
editing room and the coloring booth and all that. But I saw it for the first time, like maybe like earlier this year. So
Okay.
we saw it was a screening with the colorist, and what the colorist does is make the film look the way it does as far as color. You know, whether it's like a film over it, or the you know. And that's another thing I love about Leon. He was adamant about making the movie look sophisticated. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
ever want it to look cheap. It looks like a film, and you know, it actually, you know, looks like, you know, the big time movies that you see. It's a real film. And he was adamant about making sure the lighting was right, the coloring was right, the shots were right. And his attention to detail, I think, is seen in the film, because it's actually a beautiful film, subject wise, and you know how it looks, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, that's something I appreciate as someone who loves film. But yeah, when I saw it, I was definitely blown away. And you know, I'll admit I was slightly nervous, because anytime you do an independent movie, you know, especially a movie like this where I'm pretty much carrying it, like I was like a little nervous. I was like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
like, you know, man, like, how did I do? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and as I'm watching it, I sort of, I knew we had something special when I stopped watching myself and just started
Mm-hmm.
watching the film. So
Mm,
I
okay.
was able to watch Matt, because I'm someone who is very I'm very hard on myself. I'm hard on my performances. I overthink everything after takes. I'm like, should I have done that again? I don't think that was real enough. So going into it, I knew I was going to be focusing on my performance, obviously. But after the first like 10, 15 minutes, I forgot I was watching a movie I was in. And that's when I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is something special, because I wasn't even focused on my performance. I was invested in what the character I played was going through. So it was weird. It was a weird thing to experience, but it let me know that we did our job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I was watching the movie honestly because I wanted to see it, number one, and number two, I wanted to be
Thank you.
prepared for today's conversation, but there was a point in the movie where I stopped looking for, I guess, things to talk about because, of course, we want
Yes.
everybody to see it. And I actually was there to enjoy the journey of Matt and what he went through in the movie. So, yeah, that
Yes. That's
was
that's
awesome.
music to
Like,
my ears.
the movie's gonna be, yeah, I'm telling you, y'all did a good job. I got so many questions. Like, I feel like this conversation needs to happen after Friday, after this weekend, actually, because
Yes.
there's so much more that we can go
Yeah.
into as it relates to the movie. But where is the movie going to be available for everybody to see?
Yes, on Friday, May 28th, which is this Friday, this week. It's crazy is here. It'll be in select theaters, but it is a simultaneous release on VOD. So anywhere you buy your movies at home, whether it's Amazon Prime, iTunes, Vudu, all those movie sites, it'll be available on that at the same time that it's available in select theaters. So if it's not playing, if you can't find it in your area, just go to iTunes or Amazon or wherever you get your movies and just go ahead and click that button and you'll be able to watch it on your couch, and I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing to give people the option nowadays, especially with COVID. So if you're not comfortable with going out, you can enjoy it at home. And either way, I promise you'll enjoy it either way. But yeah, this Friday, May 28th.
And I think it's something that people should see with friends. And the reason that I say
Yes.
that is because it's a conversation starter. There are at least
Yes.
5 things in that movie that I'm like, these would be perfect conversations with friends over wine and things like that. So, I've never really looked at many movies like that, but this one
Hmm.
absolutely. So
Thank
for
you. And I
more
think
than
the
one
best
reason.
films are
And
the one. Go ahead. I cut you off.
no, 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 go ahead. The best films
I
are.
think I think the best movies are the ones that do spark conversation. If you watch a movie and then forget about it instantly, it wasn't really effective. It didn't really sit
Mhm.
with you enough. And I think, like you said, for many reasons, it's a good movie to watch with people because it's very emotional. So if you don't like being emotional alone, then maybe watch it with
Mhm.
friends. And like you said, you might, with your group of friends or your family that you watch it with, it might spark conversations about the people you're with that you didn't know they were dealing with. Someone might,
Mhm.
admit that they're going through something similar, and then you could talk to them about that. Because again, like Matt, all he really needed the whole movie was someone to listen and to someone to talk with him
Yeah.
through his emotions, and for him to be willing to talk about them. So I think this
Yeah.
movie is that opening of the door for people who may be scared or fearful of talking to people or going to see a therapist. This movie is that movie to let them know, hey, if Matt View Hillard can do it, I can do it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's I'm glad that it sparked that conversation with you.
And look, I mean, this is the end of Mental Health Awareness Month. And like you said
Yes.
earlier, this is like the perfect end to that month. When it comes to mental health in our community, what is one of the main things that you feel we as a community don't provide one another, honestly?
I think it's the listening ear. I think it's that with a combination of
Mm.
understanding and knowledge that this is a real thing. People deal with this every day. And until people acknowledge that and are willing to hear someone out about it, I mean, not everybody is going to be feeling the way that person is. So just because you don't understand it, again, doesn't make their feelings any less valid. So I think there just needs to be a level
Mhm.
of understanding. There needs to be more opportunities for people to be able to talk to people. And the stigma just has to be broken because it's nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing to be to and then you know it's nothing for you to be ashamed about, but it's also not something that your friend should feel like there's something wrong with you if you go see a therapist. Like, that's not
Mhm.
what a therapist is. A therapist truly is there to listen. You are there to speak, to talk, so that they can help you work out your issues. But I mean, for me, I've seen therapists before, and the lady that the amazing lady that I go see, most of the time it's just me in there talking, and she's just like, mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
like she's just listening. And when I leave, I'm like, I feel so much better, you know, because I spoke about
Yeah.
it. So I think that's the main thing, realizing that communication, and that's with everything, right? That communication is key to a lot of things in this life. If you hold things in, it's only going to bubble up and become worse.
Yeah.
And you know, find a group of people. If you don't want to see a therapist, talk to someone you trust. Talk to, if it's not family, talk to a friend. Find someone that will listen, you know? And I think that's the first step in getting over your depression or your anxiety or your panic attacks, or your trauma or your loss. I think that's the first step, is communicating it.
Absolutely. And to you that's out there listening who may be experiencing depression, anxiety, or anything like that, going to a therapist. There is nothing wrong with going to a therapist. Even the best of us do it just because, honestly, and it is an
Facts.
amazing thing. Just know that somebody cares. Somebody
Yes.
cares for you. And it's okay to talk about it. So if you
Yep.
guys, you need it, go for it. So, Taj, couple months ago, some images that were circling the internet. It was you, it was Essence, it was who else was in there? I think it's not Sherry Shepherd, but
It was Sherry.
there was a show that we were told was going to be coming to Black Don't Crack. Tell us about that, or can you
Yes.
tell us about that?
What I can tell you is that it's currently being shopped to other networks. So
Okay.
we're excited to see where it lands, but we're also excited for fans to get the opportunity to experience it, because it is it is hilarious. And it is just, I think it's something that, TV needs. So to be able to be in anything associated with Viola Davis is,
Yes.
I still can't get over it. Queen Viola Davis, and being able to be on set with her and speak with her was just a dream come true. I mean, Essence, obviously that's like my sister for life.
Yeah.
Sherry Shepherd, who plays my mother. Tisha Campbell, the queen of sitcom. Like and I told her this as well. Watching her work was truly a joy, because she's just so professional. She's so funny, so amazing, and yeah, it was an incredible experience working with all those people. And Isaiah Mustafa, I mean, he's the Old Spice guy. I mean, like, that's the homie now. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's the incredible cast, and I can't wait for to see where it's gonna land, and for people to experience it. And again, it's one of those sitcoms that is funny as all hell, but it also touches on real issues, and I think those make the best sitcoms.
So look, when it comes to like that show and shopping it around to other networks, why is it important for us as people of color to support our own when it comes to what you guys are, the content that you guys are putting out there?
I think it's because the opportunities come, they don't come very often. So when they do come, I think we as a whole need to support, because we don't know when we're going to get it next,
Hmm.
and I think it's important to see quality black programming on television. So whenever a new one comes about, we have to support, again, because
Yeah.
it's a blessing in itself to be able to see a show with a primarily black cast, um, you know, in this day and age, which is, it's sad to say, but it's the truth. So yes, we must jump to support any time, and the same with film. Same with film.
So look, Essence is a part of the cast we just mentioned. Working with her again after 20 plus years, How was that? Did you guys just kind of fall right back into where you were, or was it like some adjusting that needed to happen? How was that?
I mean, I've obviously talked to her, before we were on set because,
Mm,
that's basically family. But being able to be in person again together was incredible. And I think it was more weird for her because she's used to like me being her little brother on set. So, and now I'm like, I'm a grown man who's like not playing her brother anymore in the show. So
yeah.
I think it was like, she kept tripping out. She was like, I can't believe it, Todd. Oh my God. Like, but for me, it was just, it wasn't like weird for me at all. Like, and obviously, I love her so much. I look up to her in so many ways. And again, we had been in contact before, so it was just nice to like be with family again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So look, speaking of being with family again, the Smart Guy cast in this season or age of reboots, would you guys ever come back together and give us a Smart Guy 2.0?
um, yes, during the pandemic, that conversations about the Smart Guy reboot were there were a lot of them. So
Mm,
it is going to be a thing. It will be here at some point. Um, Timing is everything, and good things take time. So I just ask that the fans are patient and that they. I promise you, it'll be worth the wait when it does happen. But we were able to find an amazing writer and a possible home of where it could live. So yeah, it's exciting. I've been working very hard on, but it's a big puzzle, right? So you got to put all the puzzle pieces, and you got to start. It's
yeah.
almost like you got to start at one spot, right? I can't do everything all at once, and it's got to be the perfect steps to take, and I'm also not rushing it because I don't want to screw it up.
But look, I'm telling you, when y'all start on that casting, go ahead and slap me that casting information. If I got to come in and play a little cameo, I
Yeah.
got you, man. I'm all for this. Like, this is going to be
Good to know.
exciting.
Good to know.
Yes, sir. Ty, we definitely appreciate you taking time out of this amazing schedule of yours to talk to us about Welcome Mat. Is there anything else that you want our amazing supporters, your fans, our readers, subscribers to know about what you have going on?
I mean, this 2021 and 2022 will be very, very big Taj years. I've been focusing a lot on the spreading the wings of my creativity. So you'll start to see me in different avenues of the business very soon. But I think I just want to leave
Music?
everybody really. Music is slightly on the back burner for now. My focus is elsewhere. But
Okay.
my brother Tavier is
Okay.
killing the music game, and I just listened to his new album yesterday, and it's fire. So everybody's gonna be
Okay.
very pleasantly surprised with his stuff. But yes, I honestly just want to leave everybody again. I encourage you just to watch Welcome Mat because it's a very special movie to me, and it's again something that isn't spoken about enough, especially in the African American community. And I'm honored, thankful, and privileged to be the face of that for people. And I know you'll enjoy it. And yeah, just keep a lookout for your boy because big things is popping.
And to everybody who is following Taj, make sure you guys go follow him. If you need to hit that subscribe to the
Thank you.
notifications link, whatever it is, if you need to go pre-order right now
Yeah.
for Welcome Mat, do that. I mean, just make sure we continue to support our people. Taj, we support you.
Yes.
We appreciate you. Once again,
Thank you,
congratulations
man.
in advance for what is an amazing movie, and it's going to spark a
Thank you.
whole lot of conversation.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Absolutely,
y'all. I
man.
love y'all.
Yes. We love you back, and anything you need from us, let us know.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Good to you.
You as well. Thank you.